We've talked about the fact that Ike Perlmutter got fired by Disney and Marvel Studios, and that he's been slowly coming out there and making a few statements in regards to what happened. One of them might just be the most insane thing to say in regards to why you were fired, especially that you admit that you're the problem that Marvel TV had at its core. So most people know this by now, but a little redundancy never hurt anybody, and of course there's always new people here. Ike Perlmutter was the CEO and the guy running Marvel Entertainment, which means comics and TV, Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios, and the two did not see eye to eye. Perlmutter was fired recently, and he's been making the rounds talking about some of the reasons, not really going into all of it, but some of the reasons that he was let go and some of what he was demanding. So it's interesting enough that if you go read the Wall Street Journal and then some follow-ups to that, that we find out, and he says it directly from his own lips. He said, and I quote, "I have no doubt that my termination was based on fundamental differences in business between my thinking and Disney's leadership, because I care about the return on investment. All they talk about is box office, box office. I care about the bottom line. I don't care about how big the box office is. Only people in Hollywood talk about box office," end quote. Now, if you're not understanding what he's saying there, again, I don't blame you. You guys know that I love the industry, talk to a lot of people that do analytics and all that, and what he's talking about here is, again, some of the smaller in terms, but he's talking about, and I quote, return on investment. So this is the key takeaway here that nobody seems to focus on. That's absolutely mind-blowing that he would say this. Return on investment is how much are you putting in terms of how much are you getting back. And what he's saying is, and he goes on and talks a little bit more about that, he tried to cut back the budget of multiple Marvel Studios productions, which include films and TV, over the course of the last handful of years. 5 years plus. He was always interested in cutting production, cutting budgets, and trying to make them as small as possible while making the return on investment as large as possible. What he's admitting here is what we heard about what was going on Marvel TV. Every season, or even initially, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, the Inhumans, they literally said, okay, we're going to produce these on X amount of money. And he would see how much hype there was and what they were going for. He would slash it, and then slash it further, and then cut costs, to the point that the return on investment was like, you're putting $15 million into Iron Fist into 2 seasons, but it demands $50 million per season, like Daredevil. He didn't want that because he saw that the hype riding off of Daredevil and Jessica Jones was so high. He would cut these costs, and then the return on investment would be higher because they put less, and they just took fans for a ride from the goodwill. Why would you admit this? Why would you go out there and go, oh yeah, they fired me because I was trying to make everything cheaper looking and cut costs everywhere, because all I care about is feeding the shareholders and investors, and all they care about is how much does it make at the box office because they want to go bigger and better. What? Admitting that you just want to offer the lowest common denominator in terms of content just because you know it will sell because of the Marvel branding is absolutely appalling, but not shocking.